As you know, Doctor Strange 2, also known as the Multiverse of Madness, makes its debut in America on May the 6th. I did a previous video about what to expect from this film, and I felt compelled to do a follow-up video because this film is scourged with the plague of controversy. First reported by IGN, Saudi Arabia is refusing to show the movie in their country over Disney refusing to cut 12 seconds of an LGBTQ reference in the movie. Social media has exploded with this story, so I have to give my take on it. Welcome back to Comic Power. I'm your host, Comic Killer 72. Welcome to another episode of The Quick Flip. This is the program where I go over comic book industry news in a short period of time. Please subscribe to this channel and click on the notification button as well. It will remind you when new videos drop. Alright, let's get right into it. The LGBTQ reference involves this character, a Latin superhero named America Chavez, also known as Miss America. She made her first appearance in comics in a miniseries called Vengeance #1 from 2011. If you want a full breakdown of her power set, origin, and everything else, see my previous video called Who is America Chavez and how I think she will fit into Doctor Strange Part 2. There should be a link for that on the screen. If not, see it in the description. And yes, she is a queer character. She's always been queer. They never changed her to queer. She was like that from the beginning. She's making her first live action appearance in Doctor Strange 2, and that's where the controversy comes in. That infamous 12 seconds that was just too much for Saudi Arabia. The 12 seconds that Disney did not want to delete for artistic integrity. Saudi Arabia demanded that they do. Disney didn't do it, so the film is banned in Saudi Arabia. So, what are these 12 seconds anyway? Well, they're in the scene where America is running from something, and you can see the horror of this offensive reference in this scene. It's just so offensive, can't you see? Oh, you don't see it? Okay, let's zoom in a little bit. You still don't see it? Okay, let's zoom in a little bit. You still don't see it? Okay, let's zoom in a little more. A little more. A little more. Okay, there it is, the offensive symbol. A progress pride flag. We just can't have that now, can we? Of course, I'm being sarcastic because this is silly. This is ridiculous. This is stupid. This is what we're talking about. A 12-second scene with a small pin on the jacket of a character that's so small that you can't see it without a microscope. So this was enough to get banned in Saudi Arabia. Are we being for real here? It's not like the character first showed up and the first thing she did was find Kate Bishop and start tongue kissing her. No, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about this. I feel embarrassed even talking about this because it hurts my brain to think in the year 2022 that this is actually a controversy. And let me clarify, I'm not trying to drum up hate or disdain aimed at Saudi Arabia. The citizens of Saudi Arabia are great human beings. Saudi Arabia is the birthplace of Islam, one of the great religions in the world, and the two holiest sites in Islam are there in Mecca and Medina. So if this is the call that Saudi Arabia wants to make in banning this movie, I don't like it, I don't understand it, but hey, it's their call, it's their country, that's fine. But what I am disappointed in is the pushback here in America, because I thought all this had already been settled, but I'm seeing a massive backlash against LGBTQ people in terms of their inclusion in mainstream media. All I have to say about it is that I am an African-American straight black male. I believe in America, I believe in the First Amendment, I believe in self-determination. The new buzzword from people that are anti-LGBTQ are stating that gay people have some type of agenda, that Disney, by having gay characters in their projects, are trying to turn you gay if you're not. To me, that makes as much sense as saying you're trying to turn vegetarians into meat eaters. You have one of your characters eating chicken in one of your movies. And to the anti-pride people, some of your favorite celebs are LGBTQ. Just to name a few: Elton John, Tessa Thompson, who plays Valkyrie in Thor, Neil Patrick Harris, Lady Gaga, Drew Barrymore, Frank Ocean, Sir Ian McKellen, who played Magneto in the X-Men, Lil Nas X, the Wachowskis, the creators of The Matrix, Billy Joe Armstrong, Angelina Jolie, Kristen Stewart, Raven Simone, Adam Lambert, Janelle Monáe, Ellen Page, now known as Elliot Page, Wanda Sykes, Michael Stipe of R.E.M., Jim Parsons, Lee Daniels, who created the TV show Empire, Sam Smith, Vanessa Carlton, Demi Lovato, Vivica Leslie, who played Batwoman, Jillian Michaels, George Takei, who played in Star Trek, Billy Porter, Ezra Miller, Anderson Cooper, Ellen DeGeneres, Amanda Stenberg, even Whitney Houston, who took it to the grave, but it was confirmed in a tell-all book by her girlfriend and also confirmed by her former husband, Bobby Brown. So there are thousands of people working in the entertainment industry that are LGBTQ, and there are millions of people in our society that are also. The only difference between the 20th century and the 21st century is that these people are deciding to come out of the closet and live their truth. and not stay in the closet and live a lie. Why would you want people to be lying to you about who they are? So if there's millions of people in our society that are gay, then guess what? There's going to be gay characters in our fiction. So if you are so offended for religious purposes or whatever it is about gay people, then stay at home, don't come outside, send your kids to a private school, don't watch TV or movies because there might be a gay in it. Since that is so offensive to you, I really can't believe I'm having to talk about this. So me, my wife, and millions of people will be seeing Doctor Strange on its opening night on May the 6th. So if you are offended by the LGBTQ reference in the movie, then you can stay home. No one's forcing you to watch it. And you're not gaining anything by ranting and raving on social media about this is some forced agenda. You're just showing people how intolerant you are. My intention is to not have a political channel. I want to talk about the awesomeness of this fiction that we all love, but sometimes you had to address these topics. Your opinions are welcome in the comment section below, but please keep it civil. Next up, I want to talk about a comic that I forgot to include on the April 27th Wicked Wednesday for New Comic Day. And that's going to be Vermillion #1 from small Behemoth Comics. It's a very creepy horror story that has a sci-fi element in it. It's extremely explicit in terms of nudity and language. I'm showing you some panels right here. It's very creative. It looks like Frank Miller and Cullen Bunn had a baby, and it was this. My pick of the week doesn't change. It's Bloodstained Tea from Image Comics, which is also a well-crafted horror tale, but this is almost as good as that. If you like horror comics, then you should pick this up if you see it out there. And last but not least, I want to recognize the passing of Neal Adams, who died at the age of 80 years old, and he's an absolute icon in this business. I would say he's the godfather of realism in comic book panels. Like the work he did with Deadman, no one was doing this type of level of detail in comic books in the 1960s until Neal showed up and not only gave you action, but he gave you anatomy that was just so spot on. Some of Neal's disciples are John Byrne, Barry Windsor Smith, and George Perez, who are all legends themselves who are influenced by Neal Adams. Batman has had some great artists through his 80-year history, but Neal Adams may be my favorite Batman artist of all time. The way he depicts the Caped Crusader is just perfect to me, and people have swiped his covers more times than I can remember. So he's an absolute legend in terms of his artistry and influence and his contributions to the comic book medium, but Neal was also a stand-up guy who was always on the right side of history. For example, Neal is a co-creator of John Stewart Green Lantern. When the character was being developed, the editorial board insisted on calling him some type of stereotypical black name, like Tyrone or Leroy or something like that. But it was Neal Adams who insisted on calling the character an everyman name such as John Stewart. He won the argument and he was correct. Considering that all the people on the editorial board were white at the time, they didn't need to have a black character that they went out of their way to say he's black man, black man, black man, where it would have been reviewed as very cringe in our time. But so Neal was involved in a character that just so happened to be black. So he celebrated the character's blackness by not trying to go over the top on the blackness, if that makes sense. Neal also used his power in a good way in 1978 when the Superman live action movie was in development. Superman was about to be the first superhero to get a live action feature film, but the creators of the character, Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, were struggling financially and basically living in poverty. DC Comics was now owned by Warner Brothers, who was making the movie, so Neal Adams stepped in and negotiated a pension for the creators of Superman. So it was great for Jerry and Joe, so they didn't have to spend their final years on this planet struggling, and a great public relations win for Warner Brothers. So this is the type of stand-up guy that Neal was. It's just as important as his art contributions. He will be missed, and like Neal, you should always stand up and do the right thing, so no one will have to lie when they speak about you at your funeral. You did it the right way, Neal. Now you are immortal. You know the drill. Be sure to subscribe to this channel, give it a thumbs up, and share these videos on social media so others learn about the Comic Power channel. And once again, thank you to my subscribers and my viewers who support Comic Power. While you're here, be sure to check out some of my previous videos, such as which Spider-Man spinoff will Olivia Wilde be directing? I go over in detail what are the best choices for this future female headlining Spider-Man spinoff. Also see my video about Adam Warlock, who's making his official debut in Guardians 3, with more information about the comic book origin of the character and the actor who is playing him, Will Poulter. Thank you for watching. Let's have more love in this world, and see you at the movies.